and it was like a freaking war zone. I had 2 follicles. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I just filmed another video, so I'm sitting in my room. I have my full glam on, so I thought I would quickly, this will not be quick, so I thought I would give you guys an infertility update because a lot has changed / happened since the last time we chatted. Just a disclaimer, which if you saw this whole get up, you would have seen the last video, the video I just filmed before this one. You heard this disclaimer, but in case you didn't, I got my eyebrows microbladed. In case you didn't know, they're still healing. They look a little cray right now. Just roll with it, okay? So last time we chatted, about infertility, obviously. I was undergoing, that sounds weird. I was in the process of taking Femara. So fast forward, I took Femara, I started my period right on time, and as of today, I'm on cycle day 11. So I started my period, and the next day, I went in for the baseline ultrasound. So you have to go in like day 2 of your period just to make sure there's no cysts or anything that would make you want to cancel the cycle, and then like get the plan for the cycle. So I went in and they gave me a little calendar with the whole plan of when to take my medication, when the next appointment is, all of that, and I had the ultrasound done. So everything looked good. There was no cysts. I've never had cysts, so I didn't expect that I would, but still, everything looked good. He said that my lining was definitely shedding, more so than, like I said in the last ultrasound I had, it was super thick. So he said it was definitely shedding, but definitely needed another day before I started the Femara. So that was always the plan, was to start the Femara on day 3, and he said that that's still the plan. Go home next day, start the Femara, which was a 7-day cycle, 7-day prescription, 7-day round of meds. So we'll get into that in a second, but first I just wanted to quickly touch on the ultrasound on your period. So if you guys are squeamish at all, if you don't want to hear details on my period, then I'm not offended. You can click out. I completely understand if you don't want to hear details on my period. But most of you watching are familiar with all the gory details of infertility, baby stuff, and I'm trying to be very real and open through this process because I know that people really appreciate that. So I'm going to be very real and open about this ultrasound, and I'm going to be telling you about my period. So if you're not interested, totally understand. Just don't watch. So on to this. So going into this appointment, I was thinking to myself, it sounds like it's probably going to be pretty terrible to have an internal ultrasound while I'm on my period. That doesn't sound like fun, and let me tell you guys, it's about as terrible as you probably imagine it would be. It's just very awkward and uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable as in painful, but like uncomfortable as in like embarrassing. I went in on day 2 of my period, and I had a very heavy period this time. I don't know if it was probably because I haven't had a period in so long. I don't really know. So, I went in, and you can't have a tampon in or anything when you go in because they're doing an internal ultrasound. So like when I got to the doctor's office, I went in the bathroom, I, removed my tampon. I cleaned myself up really well because I was like, I'm not going to be gross. I'm going to be very hygienic and make this as best as possible for my doctor, because my doctor has to give me an ultrasound while I'm on my period. So I cleaned up really nicely, and then my doctor's office is always right on time. So right as I got out of the bathroom, I got called into the room right away. So I was like, okay, good, this is great. He's going to be in here and I'm still going to be all clean, and it's going to be no big deal. So they tell me to undress from the waist down, whatever, the whole spiel. And I'm like, does anybody else do this? I don't know why I do this. I panic that I have to get undressed so fast and be ready before the doctor comes in, even though my doctor is getting very up close and personal, and I'm too paranoid that he's gonna walk in when I'm undressing, but he's gonna be up close and personal with it and see more than he would have if I was undressing. I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? You panic and have to get undressed as fast as possible. So I did that. I got undressed as fast as possible and then sat on the little table chair pad thing, covered myself up and was sitting there and was just like holding everything in, like, please don't start bleeding, please don't start bleeding, please don't start bleeding. I was like, hurry up, please hurry up, please hurry up. And he like took 5 minutes or something to get in, which really isn't bad, but I was sitting there the whole time just like, please don't start bleeding all over the place. Like, I cleaned myself up so nicely. So he comes in. It is a he, which makes it a little more awkward when it's on my period, just because, like, I know he sees people on their period literally every day because that's part of the process. Like, you have to be seen on your period, but it still was just like weird. So he comes in, does the ultrasound, everything is good, obviously, like I said, and, you know, he like takes out the ultrasound wand and like pulls the little ultrasound wand condom. They put like a condom on the, it's not actually a condom, but it looks like that on the ultrasound wand. He like pulls that off super quickly, pulls his gloves off super quickly, and like puts it in the trash. So I literally didn't even have a chance to like see if there was anything like on it or anything. He did it so fast and so sly, like while he was talking to me, that I was like, oh, I didn't start bleeding again. Like, I was totally fine. So he just like finishes up talking to me, and then the lady that's in the room too, because it's a male doctor. I don't know if this is just a California thing or like everywhere, but like since he's a male doctor, there has to be another like woman in the room present. So she was like, you can use any of this stuff that you want, and then like I'll meet you out there. And so it was like tampons, pads, wipes, like all of that stuff to like clean up with. I had already brought my own tampon because I was like thinking ahead. So they leave, and I like get up, and I thought that I like really hadn't bled at all. And then I looked down, and it was like a freaking war zone. It was like a massacre. Like, I was so shocked and embarrassed. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. I had blood like all over the inside of my legs. It was like all over the paper pad thing I was sitting on. It was on like the gown that was on my lap. It was everywhere. I could not believe it, and I was so embarrassed. My doctor just saw all of my period blood. So it was kind of mortifying, even though I know everyone has that happen, but I was shocked. So I'm like cleaning myself up, and I'm like throwing stuff in the garbage, and I can see in the garbage like his gloves and everything that got thrown away, and like how much blood there was. And basically it was just so embarrassing and awkward and horrible. And I'm sure every single person has experienced something similar if they've had an ultrasound on their period, but it was pretty hilarious now that I look back on it, because this was like days ago, but it was at the time not the most fun experience. So I'm over it now. It's fine. I'm sure it's gonna happen again. Actually, I hope not, because hopefully IUI works this round. So that was that. That was my last appointment. Since then, I did the 7 days. This is 7. I did the 7 days of the Femara. I was very nervous because I had a horrible experience on Clomid. And so I was very nervous, and I wound up being very pleasantly surprised. I had pretty much no side effects. I felt a little weird, like not entirely myself, but it was nothing like the Clomid. Like the Clomid knocked me out. Like I was like sick. And the Femara, I felt virtually nothing. So that was such a relief and so nice. At the same time, that terrifies me that it's not working. I have my follicle scan tomorrow, and I'm gonna be very honest that I am very nervous, and like I don't want to go, because every time I ever had a follicle scan with Clomid, it was always really disappointing. My follicles were never what they were supposed to be. Like, I just want to go in tomorrow and have him be like, wow, it looks great. Like, your follicle's right the size it should be. Like, we're right on track to do IUI. And I'm so worried that I'm going to go in and he's going to be like, there's like not enough growth. Like, we can't do IUI this cycle. I don't exactly know what happens if there's not enough growth, but I'm really worried that that's gonna happen, because I just don't want to be disappointed again, have gone through all this medication. Like, all right, well, that clip ended abruptly because my battery died, and it's now been hours because I can't find my spare battery anywhere. So I had to wait for this one to charge, and I don't remember what I was saying anymore. So basically just that I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow for my follicle scan, and I'm nervous. So I'll update you guys tomorrow or like sometime after that appointment and tell you what the plan is. We're really hoping that it all goes well and like we get to do IUI this weekend. So I'll update you guys after my next appointment. Hey guys, so it's a couple days later and I have some new updates for you. So last time I checked in, which you just saw, I was having my follicle scan the next day, and since then I've had two. So update on the first one, I went in super nervous. Like I said, I just was really worried that it wasn't gonna have worked, and I went in and I had two almost mature follicles, one in each ovary. They were like just under 18 millimeters, both of them, which mature is usually like mid 20s is typically where they wind up ovulating. So I had like almost 18s on both and I was so excited. I really couldn't believe it. Like I went in thinking that it was going to be bad news and I was not going to have anything close to mature. But I did. So the doctor said everything looks good, like my lining was right where it should be, like everything was looking good. And he said come back in 2 days for another scan, but like continue testing ovulation each morning. So I continued testing ovulation each morning and I never got a positive, which I wasn't really surprised. I just didn't think I was going to ovulate on my own. And so I went back in 2 days later. This time I got to take Ben because it was a weekend. And my doctor was not there, but that was okay. So I had another scan and both follicles had grown like 3 millimeters, which was really good. So they're now in the 20s, which was really exciting. And my lining still looked really good. Since I had not had a positive ovulation predictor kit yet, the doctor said that I should do my trigger shot that night and come back for IUI 36 hours later. So we did my trigger shot last night at 2 in the morning because my IUI is scheduled around like 4, and so 36 hours back, she said do it between like 1 and 4 a.m. So we got up at like 2 a.m. and did my trigger shot, and I was gonna film it, but honestly I was like really nervous for it, which is kind of silly because I'm not that afraid of needles, but I was really nervous for it, so I didn't wind up filming it. And it was 2 in the morning, but it was super easy, super quick. Ben did it for me and it was like not really painful at all. So we did the trigger shot last night, which means tomorrow, well, really this morning technically. So tomorrow we go in for IUI. The date of IUI wound up falling like exactly when the doctor initially predicted it would when I like started my Femara. And the fact that this whole cycle has gone completely to schedule makes me so happy. Like I did not think it was going to go that way because my experiences on Clomid were so bad. My follicles just never matured. I never ovulated when I was supposed to. Like I just thought that that was how it's going to be this time. But it has gone exactly to schedule. We are doing IUI like literally the exact day he thought that it would happen. And that is crazy. So this is like the best news ever, and I'm so excited that it worked. Like even if we don't get pregnant the first time, because it's much more likely to get pregnant like the second or third IUI, even if we don't, I'm still excited that it went how it was supposed to go. So I'm like going to be much more confident in the next round if we wind up doing another cycle, because I don't have to worry next time because I know that this medication worked and everything went to time. We did the trigger, IUI is tomorrow, and that's kind of crazy. I can't believe we're actually going to be doing it. Like this is our first real shot at getting pregnant because ovulation was always such a guess when we did Clomid. Don't ovulate at all on my own, so we never really got to try naturally on our own. And the fact that this is really the first time that it's like a real solid try. I know when I'm ovulating, it's happening. So I'm going to end this vlog here, and then I'll do another vlog for the actual IUI day. It's going to wind up being kind of an all-day thing because we have to drive to the city. Ben has to give his sample, and then we have to wait like 2 hours and then do the procedure. So we're going to be like hanging out in San Francisco, and I'll just vlog that day. I'm really excited. It's crazy. I can't believe it's happening. I really can't believe it's happening. I just didn't think it was going to happen. I thought it wasn't going to work, or I thought it was going to be weeks later, and it's happening. So that's so cool. So I don't know how I'm going to schedule these videos. I've said before, I don't know if the next video will be the actual IUI day. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Just keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you subscribe for that video. Give this video a thumbs up for a successful IUI cycle this far. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. So anyways, my foot is full on asleep right. Oh! Seriously, you guys, have you ever just moved your foot when it's asleep and it just like shot shockwaves down your leg? That just happened.